Good afternoon. We are here at the Embassy of Switzerland to Nepal. We have a special guest, Her Excellency Miss Elisabeth von Capeller, the Ambassador of Switzerland to Nepal. We are here to talk about the work being done by the Embassy of Switzerland, and we're going to talk about the work of the Embassy of Switzerland to support, engage in the promotion of disability rights. Let's start first with a small introduction about Her Excellency. Her Excellency is from an agricultural background, and she's been working for several decades in the international development with the Swiss Development Corporation, that is part of the Federal Ministry of Federal Affairs in Switzerland, but also she's been working with a local NGO in Switzerland. She has been also spending time to work in Nepal in the past. In 2007 she was at SDC, and since 2009 she was deputy head of the mission and also head of the technical cooperation. And since the beginning of the year, the ambassador is back. Okay, Ambassador, thanks again for being with us and giving us time. So let's start about a question related to the current situation of development. I mean, Nepal is entering a new era driven by political stability, and obviously there's a lot of discussion and debate about the way social economic development can be implemented, and also about the role of national and international NGOs in this broader context. So how do you see the current situation, and how would you see potential cooperative framework to maximize the impact of the non-profit sector and also the collaboration with the local governments and the federal governments of Nepal?
Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak today with you. It's a pleasure. As you said, I have been here 2006-11, and this is the baseline I have. This was just after the peace agreement. This was a very difficult time. It was a very fragile time. It was a very uncertain time, and nobody would have thought that Nepal will be there or here where it is now. So I think it is a big change, and I'm personally convinced that's a positive change. I see that the local election have brought up leaders and women and men who really want to try to change something, which have a higher accountability, and who want to, really see the changes for the people. And when you go and talk with these elected people, they also have the agenda to really bring all the citizens in their Gaupalika to benefit from development, also people with handicaps and also Dalits. So I think this is a very positive trend. I would say we have to be patient, because this change, it takes in other countries hundreds of years, so we have to also be patient here and build on what is good.
Yes.
I think for us it's a paradigm shift on how to work. In the past, when there was no local election body, then many NGOs or donor work to NGOs to deliver services. And I think this is the paradigm shift nowadays. We ask our project and partners, at least at this moment of time, to really support the local government to be able to do what they have to do and should do. So the focus is less now this year on number of irrigation channel, but number of people in Gaupalika who are able to build irrigation. So I think this is a paradigm shift, which is probably not so easy for many NGOs. Will take time, because that's a different role. There are no more somehow the donors there, but they have to work on behalf of the local government.
Right, yes. And I think it's going to be very important for NGOs to take this as an opportunity to improve, to be more effective, and possibly work more closely with the government at the local level.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's shift now to the Swiss cooperation strategy for Nepal 2013-2017 that just concluded. It was basically built on two domains. The first one was quest for peace and better governance, and the second domain was equitable development and poverty reduction. So you came back to Nepal after a gap. You've been involved at senior level in Switzerland, in the neighboring countries of Europe. You've been also being the chief of the South Asian division, and now you are back to Nepal. So how would you see, also from a different perspective, the work of Switzerland in the last 5 years?
I would say we have been relevant in what we have done. We always try to link, state building agenda with the development agenda, which is interlinked. There is no peace without development. There is no development without peace. So I think that was the motto we had since long. The focus was on state building in the past, and then more on livelihood improvement. I think that was the time after the civil war where there was a strong push from the Nepali society to have livelihood development for all, and inclusive development for all the citizens, and that was, of course, our contribution to that. It was really improving life of people in terms of income when they worked in the road corridor, or they had better agriculture production due to extension service, due to irrigation. We have been very much involved in skill development, also for migrants. And I think that was then also which gave us the understanding of the shift towards the new strategy. We understand that this country is very much, shaped by migration. This country lives on migrants. Yes. The migrants are the heroes of this country, I would say. They contribute a lot. So we have to take into account migration as a very important factor in this country to build on. So in that regard, migration is now becoming one of our major domains. Migration is of course linked to other, to also to the state building, to the economic development, to livelihood opportunities. So this is really a central piece. I would say this country has changed a lot from a rural country to an urban country. Mobility has increased a lot. It is amazing to see how small-scale businesses take up, very on a small-scale level. But this country is no more the country it was. So I think new opportunities, and that's why we also said we have a focus still on state building, implementation of the constitution as the constitution is designed. Then the second is still to look after migration and safe migration, not to say migration is bad, but say this is a need of the country and probably the next 10 to 15 years, but also see that if migrants go abroad, this is a safe migration based on skills they can acquire, and in order to get also better employment.
So if I understand right, migration support to migrants and the family will be still a very important area in the next strategic plan.
Even more important than it was in the past. Yeah. I think that we feel nowadays a lot of interest by the villages, the Gaupalicas. That was not the case in the past. We have a lot of interest from the state level and also from the federal level. The village level people, they just see what happens, what opportunity there is, because money, the families get money, but also what challenges it bears. The women left behind alone, the stigmata of women left behind alone, and also, their need for support in order to become also economically active and so on. And
it means like Switzerland will work more and more, and its partners obviously more closely with the local governments. There's going to be big mandate for Switzerland.
Yeah. We have to see what the constitution has given the mandate for, to which level of the tier. But we really would support this. For example, agriculture extensions is now on the Gaupalika level. This sensitization for migrants is on the Gaupalika level, on the village level, but other themes, for example, or issues are more on the state level. So we really try to intervene there where the constitution hasn't given the mandate.
All right, okay, great, thank you so much. So it's the end of the first part of the interview with the ambassador. Thank you so much.